Everything will be fine. Wish Upon was released in 2017 and was directed by John Leonetti. It stars Joey Kang and is about a teenage girl named Claire who gets a music box from her dad, and this music box can grant wishes, but each wish costs a price that Joey Kang doesn't know that she could pay. So I already know some of you guys are going to be in the comment section about to write, "Oh my god, Ryan doesn't even know how the Wheel of Horror works." Or, "Oh my god, why isn't there a wheel spin? It's called the Wheel of Horror. Where is the wheel?" Well, I've been really busy this week, and I ended up watching this movie, and I remember that I put it on the Wheel of Punishment, and I don't think I have enough time to watch a different movie, so I decided, you know what, let me just do a review of it, and then I'll just take it off the Wheel of Punishment. So, I'm sorry that there's no actual wheel spin this week, but there will be next week. But we do need some more movies suggested, so please, in the comments below, suggest some movies, because it will go on the wheel. But if you do already have a suggestion on the wheel, it won't be updated your new movie until after I spin that old one. So, for example, Tina, she has a movie that's still on there. If she suggests a new one, I'll wait until the old one has been spun, and then I'll put the new one. So, I hope that makes sense, and as to why I'm doing this review, now you understand. But let's actually talk about this movie right now. So the first time that I heard about this movie, I was watching YouTube. I don't even know what video I was gonna be watching originally, but this was the ad before it, and I was like, wow, this looks really stupid. And that was it. I never really thought about it ever again. And then Chris Stuckman did a review about it, which, after you watch this video, I highly suggest watching his because it is very funny. But I watched his review, I was like, wow, so I was right. It is a pretty terrible movie. And then finally, a couple of days ago, the opportunity arose to watch it with Austin Michael and his family, so shout out to them. They're amazing. But I was very excited when we decided that this was the movie we were gonna watch, because I was hoping and praying that this would be a funny, bad movie. And the Lord answered my prayers, because this movie is so bad, but so funny. I was laughing the entire time. Everybody else was laughing the entire time. This is a terrible movie, but it's so unaware that it's terrible, which just makes it the funniest thing that you're gonna watch. For me, I put this in the top 5 of my favorite funny bad movies of all time. It hit number 4, which sadly, it took the place of Troll 2, which kind of stinks because Troll 2 is just such a funny movie. But for me, Wish Upon edged it out like by this much as to hit number 4 on the list. It hasn't hit it. There's no way it could ever beat 1, 2, or 3, because that, I don't know if anything's ever going to top those 3, which one day I will tell you the order of that, but we're going to save that for another time. Anyway, let's talk about what makes this movie so bad that it's funny. And of course, the first thing that I'm going to say is Joey Kang, which in a way it's kind of unfortunate because I do really like her, and she is spectacular in The Act, which is a TV show which is on Hulu, which I highly recommend. That's a very good TV show, and she is amazing in it. But it seems like she has terrible luck with horror films. I mean, if you look at some of the horror films she's been in Slender Man. We already know how I feel about Slender Man. Wish Upon, which is what we are going to be talking about today. She's in Quarantine, which I truly, with everything in me, despise that movie. And she's just in a lot of other random movies and TV shows. I mean, if we want to talk about one that's not a horror movie, The Kissing Booth. That's a terrible movie, but also pretty funny bad. But she just has very bad luck with getting into the wrong movies or being with the wrong people. Because I feel like the director of the act did a very good job of using Joey's talents and showing them and showcasing them. And it feels like the horror movies that she's in are always so bland. Her character is less interesting than a wet napkin. I don't know. I just feel like she usually gets the short end of the stick. And I feel like in this movie, she got the short end of the stick because she has your stereotypical character, which is a teenage girl who isn't cool and all the bullies bully her. But she just wants to be popular and have the cutest boy, and that's her character. And there's no arc to her. I mean, they try to force something at the end with her character, like, oh, everything magically shifted with her personality. And it doesn't work because the entire movie, you just hate her because she makes these terrible decisions with this musical box that grants wishes, and it just gets to the point where you get so annoyed by her character where you don't care if she dies. Like, if something were to happen to her, you'd be like, all right, good. And that's not a good way to write your character. And not good if it is the main character and not just like a side character, which I basically hated all the side characters. There's one who I really liked. His name was Ryan. I didn't like him because his name was Ryan. He actually is really good. He's in The Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. That's a good show. It's pretty funny. But yeah, the acting in this movie, just to tie in everyone, is very bad. There's not much more to say about it. It's very bad, but pretty funny. There's some pretty funny dialogue because it is that bad. I mean, there's some talk about smegma. I mean, why in the first place? Why did the writer want to talk about smegma? But he does, and it's pretty funny. Not intentionally, but yeah. I think if we were to talk about something actually positive about this movie, I think it's a cool concept. The fact that you have wishes, but they do come at a price. And our character, Claire, Joey King, is very stupid and doesn't understand that price. And we as an audience can see it, and it gets very annoying after a little bit because we're like, Joey King, why are you being stupid? But I was talking about positives and I automatically went to some funny bad things. So that really shows how I feel about this movie. But the concept is pretty cool. That fact of like wishes and then there being a price to pay for these wishes. I feel like usually for bad horror movies, it's usually the concept is pretty cool, but everything else is just terrible, which makes the movie terrible. And it definitely follows the cliche in this movie too. So honestly, I already talked about the main cons I had, which was kind of unintentional, but really the acting, the script is pretty bad, writing is very bad. I don't even remember the musical score. Very underwhelming. And I think like the last thing I would really say about this movie is it feels like a PG-13 Final Destination that doesn't know how to be Final Destination. Because I really like that franchise. I think the weakest one is the fourth one, but the fifth one is probably one of my favorites in the series. They know when to kill someone, how to play with your expectations, all of that. This movie, you could see it from a mile away what's going to happen, and it's very frustrating watching these characters not see it themselves when we could see it from their eyes before they could even see it. So, overall, I'm going to give this movie a 3 out of 10, but on the funny bad scale, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. You know, solid enjoyment to be had. And I would recommend it in a group setting. It is pretty funny, and it could be a funny movie to watch drinking a little bit or whatever you want to do. So thank you everyone for watching. Look forward to next week when I actually spin the wheel. And also thank you for all the support. I really appreciate it, and I just kind of wanted to say that right there. So yeah, thank you. But let's flash forward to the next review.